For Tony Redhouse and his talented siblings, life as Native Americans in Monterey, California had its gifts and burdens. Tony's father made the decision to see that his children remembered their heritage, and they've taken this forward into their adult lives as musicians and healers, but not without its difficulties, including struggles with addictions. Knowing these places inside himself, Tony has turned his energies to healing others, including women with addictions, through his Native American arts and music.
It's interesting. Things seem to be coming full circle. Last night at the conference here, I was listening to Bruce Lipton, who came on after you, and you just captivated me with your energy and wit and humor, and also really grounded understanding of life force. Bruce comes on from a scientific point of view, talking about our evolution as a species, because, of course, power of belief, so he's talking about our belief as a species, which went from animism, which was the understanding that matter and spirit have always lived side by side, and how Western civilization has gone through these various permutations, polytheism, monotheism, to scientific materialism, and basically what it's saying is we're headed right back where the Native Americans have always been, which is back to a form of animism, but with some technology laid in there. Why is it? What is it about the way the belief systems of the Native Americans, and we'll get into the work you specifically do, in this animist nature to it that has endured past all of these others that seem to be crumbling away?
Because from my standpoint and my tradition, Navajo heritage, we believe, and what I practice in my life today is that we are one with everything in the universe. And so everything is interconnected. What I do affects the world around me, affects the animals around me. One of the goals that we try to attain in life is to be in harmony with the universe. And that, in fact, that's Hojoni. That's a word that means beauty. It means being in balance, being in harmony with everything. That means being in pulse, being in time, having the same intention of being at peace with each other and with all the animals. And so I believe that we are connected energetically with everything around us. And in that way, there is no separation. And so I think that's what we're finding today. We're finding in the universe, we're finding that the things that we're doing that are harmful to the environment, to the animals, animal rights, and all these things are coming up. And we're seeing that what we're doing is having a little backlash on ourselves because we are not in harmony. And that goes back, for me, to the balance in my personal life. And we have personal balance, then that results in all of us connecting together and then creating harmony.
This statement that you've made is taking all these researchers and all these universities and studying quantum physics and non-locality and everything else to come to the understanding that what you just said has basis in fact, that we are all entangled, we are all one. And this gets into some really interesting dilemmas in terms of the ego of Western civilization, everybody wanting to be an individual, to be recognized as an individual. How does individuality play into the belief that we are all one and what one does impacts the whole?
Each person is unique. If you take, for instance, a Native American dancer, you go to a gathering like a powwow or a ceremony, you will see the regalia, the different beadwork, the colors, the symbols that they are representing. That if they're making those things by hand, they're making things that are traditionally reflecting what's in their soul, their personality, their experience, their life path, their ups and downs. Everything is expressed in what you are wearing, and so there's a uniqueness. There's one dancer's going to have maybe the background of all this beadwork like mine was blue, okay, which represented my quest for freedom, my desire to spread my wings, to be able to reach all the dreams and aspirations that I want to soar to the heavens. The blue represents something in the universe. It represents the sky, represents the ocean, large expanses of space where you are not cluttered and you are not confined. And
That's your unique expression.
That was my unique expression of my beadwork, what I was wearing. And so that unique expression of me is very valuable in the whole circle called the universe. The circle of circles is called the universe. I am an individual circle, an individual hoop. As a hoop dancer, I connect hoops together. They create designs. But as an individual cycle or circle or hoop of life, I have different experiences in my life story, different encounters, and those are valuable because they will inspire other people in their circles of life and their different paths that they are on. But in a larger sense, that uniqueness with my strengths and my weaknesses, not just my strengths, but my weaknesses also. If you take a large circle of people and you place them in a circle and they're holding hands, standing together, facing each other, one person on one side of the circle is going to have a unique life, their strengths, their weaknesses. Well, guess what? Somebody on the other side of the circle across the room is going to have the strengths in their life that the other person has weakness in. And the other person on the other side of the circle is going to have weaknesses in their life that are going to be balanced out by this person on this side of the circle who has strengths. So our uniqueness is valuable because it will balance out
it creates
the big
a whole.
circle. Yeah, the whole circle, complete circle, the whole circle is balanced out by each of our uniqueness. So we don't want to change our uniqueness, but we want to connect to the circle in harmony, bringing everything that we are.
Yes. Now, you were raised this way. You had the advantage of being raised by a father who still understood a lot of the traditions and carried them with him. And it sounds like in your family it very much went through all of the art forms. What was passed on to you and all of your brothers?
What was passed on to me, we began as children. My father was very much, well, in fact, I was the start. When I was 5 years old, my father and mother entered me into an international child's pageant in Monterey, California, in an auditorium. They made regalia for me with a breechcloth, with a vest, with armbands, with a headdress, and with a little drum in my hand. And my dad stood behind me in a three-piece suit. He was with the civil service, and he stood behind me, and next to me there was a little Spanish matador boy with his mom standing behind him, representing the Spanish culture. I was representing the Native American culture, and so I was placed on stage as a Native American to proudly display my heritage in the Monterey Bay Area, in the metropolitan area. My father that was his first step to be able to start bringing cultural awareness to society, of Native American cultural awareness to society. And so that was kind of the initial momentum for my dad to actually begin to create Native American clubs of Native Americans joining together within the society, dominant society, and for us to have a place to feel at home and to feel accepted and to teach each other. And so my dad was very much from that point on into sharing cultural awareness with the communities that we were in. He was teaching us Native American songs, Native American dancing. We danced as a family. As a family dance troupe, we were the Redhouse family dancers. We danced Native American dances, a variety of dances. We put on shows in schools, elementary schools that we went to. We paraded along in rodeo parades. And we did different functions for Boy Scout groups to bring a cultural awareness to all these different organizations.
How did this work for you in school? Among your peers?
It was kind of a melting pot in Monterey. Monterey was a place where we went to school with African Americans, Asian, Latinos, Filipinos, and we were pretty much the only Native Americans in the school.
But was it diverse enough that you still felt safe, relatively safe, or were there?
Yeah, I think we felt okay about that. It wasn't really, we didn't really feel that there was a difference.
Yes.
Because we were, I think probably because my mom was Filipino and my dad was Navajo, so we were already kind of an interracial,
Right.
universal mix there.
Right.
Okay, so for us it wasn't, you know, we didn't look at different colors of people, and we didn't really think of ourselves as different.
Right.
Yeah.